Round one of the VFL season got on away yesterday at IKON Park under them bright, pretty lights. It was a heart-stopping game in that fourth quarter as Carlton Reserves fell short by 4 points to the Box Hill Hawks. The Blues had showed a little bit of heart late, but the Hawks just controlled the game so much smarter and for so much longer and walked away with the win. We'll play the intro and let's break it down for you so you can see which AFL-listed players put their hands up. In a game that really was fast-paced and had so many subplots, the Box Hill Hawks emerged 4-point winners over Carlton, 11 goals, 14 for 80, playing 12 goals for. And the Hawks controlled much of this contest without having to really try too hard until the fourth quarter where there was a late surge and the Blues desperately tried to claim victory. Carlton did start the game incredibly well. They hit the scoreboard early. Ashton Moyer, Ollie Badir, they looked really good, particularly Ashton Moyer. He did a great bit of work to finish his work in the final 50. New captain, Liam McMahon, he added another. He absolutely looked sensational from the early doors. Heath Ramshaw really showcasing his good ball use and his drive. And Darcy Hogg, famous name there, he did show some real good intent, giving the Blues drive and really taking the game to Box Hill. Box Hill in the middle portions of the game, though, really got into a good rhythm. Max Ramsden, he was a pain in Carlton's side, leading up high, half forward. Corey Preston and Arundel, they were a nuisance. And Bianco and Mr. Hustwaite really did control the middle patches of the game. Box Hill did try and go through the motions. They extended their lead in the second. Carlton's defenders, they looked lost. But Jordan Boyd did stand up well. His ball use was a real note in there, going at 83%. And at halftime, the Hawks managed to get a 17-point lead. The Blues did respond. McMahon and Badir again kicking goals. Box Hill, though, managed to just always peg them back. Bruce, particularly, just managing to always stifle any momentum Carlton were building. It began with Luke Bruce, who really did show his calmness in the furnace. Will White, McMahon, Hogg, and Ashton all kicked goals in this. McMahon kicking too. Really did showcase just some little bit of work that the Blues can do when it's there. It did really feel, though, that the Blues were relying on momentum to get their work done, where Box Hill never really were troubled. Will White really was lively, though, in the forward line in the fourth and looked like to make things do. So did Jordan Boyd as well. And Ben Camporelli in the second really did showcase some little things that the Blues may get excited about. He was lively. He wasn't spectacular, but he was lively and showcasing that kind of form we saw in his junior year, particularly his ability to really get on the end of things, play that give and go. And he's definitely someone that will be looking at Mr. Elijah Holland's been injured, saying, you know what, I can do this, because he finished the game pretty strongly, had a clearance, lots of tackles in there as well, really showcasing that he suits that two-way running. The Box Hill team, though, really did hold firm, winning the inside 50 count, winning the scoring shots, and really did see out this game well. So let's go on to the takeaways. And the first one is Henry Hustwaite. He puts his hands up for selection, surely. 30 disposals, 11 clearances, 2 tackles, 5 marks up and down the ground as well. 19 of them were contested. He was the heartbeat. Him and Bianco really did link up well and really stifled the Carlton boys of any real use of the ball with purpose. He really did put his hand up. Now, it's going to be a hard team to break into, Hawthorn, but showcasing his ability to run with players, also bring players in and around. It was a really impressive performance from the Huss dog, and he is a favourite of this channel. So it really did make me smile to see him go there. Number 2 is the Vibe FC strikes again. It's becoming a bit of a Carlton Football Club kind of trademark, that it's either a slow start, big finish, big start, slow finish. Once again, they went toe-to-toe quite early doors with them, but the ease in which Box Hill controlled the game in the second and third quarters really meant the shackles had to come off late, and there was a bit of a tail wag. That final quarter did show that the Blues have the capability, particularly there AFL-listed players of going and wagging the tail, but a lot of that work was done by the VFL graduates in that fourth. It really is a case here that in the VFL, they've got to be learning the skills that really pay them in the AFL. And unfortunately, at times, you do see the contrasting in styles. And that leads me on to point 3, Box Hill's ability to control the game. Whether it was Kaidi Class, whether it was Trent Bianco, whether it was Hustwaite, then you have Mitchell, players like that, Seamus Mitchell, they just control the game. There was a real gulf in the ability of just being safe and calming the game down. And you saw this quite a lot of the times, particularly in the third, when the Blues were starting to go up the level, of just how Box Hill can control the game. Take something off it, keep your hands on it. When Carlton did get a flurry, they always keep to go after 2 goals against them, just to end that a little bit. And it allows you to conserve your energy, but also hit them back on the counter. And although the Blues were going hammer and tongs in the fourth quarter, there was really an element there where you could see that the Box Hill Hawks have that control element. They have that comfortability on the ball, where for the Blues, it does feel like they've got to go either all or nothing. It's a real fascinating contrast in styles. The AFL-listed boys, though, at the Blues had their moments, but it wasn't a masterclass. Again, Liam McMahon really feeding on some poor entries at times, and he really relishes that solo big guy role. Harry Lemmy really just was, he took a goal, but again, really a non-event. McMahon really has that. Now, I'm still not convinced that translates to AFL level, to be honest, but it was a strong showing. And when you've got them players to work off, for Darcy Hogg, who's not AFL listed, and Ollie Bader, they really did showcase it. Ashton was really in and out of this game. He took his goals well, and that is what's really annoying there, because he's got a real Jack Martin about him. There is that element that makes me want to press the button and go, okay, he's ready for AFL now. But then there's also that bit that doesn't make me think he is. And I would like to see him control the game. Billy Wilson and Jordan Boyd working off halfback with Harry Charleston, they had their moments. Boyd particularly did showcase that he's knocking on the door for AFL. Billy Wilson, Harry Charleston, it's another decent performance, but I would like to see them take the game on. Particularly Billy Wilson. With them weapons, feels like Carlton are really pigeonholing him as a defensive lockdown. He's definitely got them weapons there. Harry Charleston, incidentally, was more of the dynamic threat. Not too sure why that is. I personally would flip them round. I think Wilson's got the more attacking weapons, where Charleston is that brains down the back. Got to talk about Will White. I really did enjoy the glimpses of Will White. High energy. He was chasing everything. He got just rewards as well. Don't want to sound like Michael Voss here and say you do the right things, you'll get rewarded, but this is the case in point with Will White. He's definitely someone that basically leapt ahead of Francis Evans in this game, if you were judging it on this. And Carlton are desperate for a small forward. I feel like Will White deserves the opportunity for his blanket of work in the past as well in the VFL. He was really solid. Ben Camporelli as well. I want to take some few moments to talk about Ben. He was really, really impressive. I really liked the moments he showed. You can see he hasn't played football for a long time, but them elements of class are there. And he's definitely someone that's not going to go at 100% disposal efficiency, but he does try and get the game going. He's definitely someone about round 6, round 7, I'll definitely be looking at, can he come in and play that high half forward pinch hit in the midfield, because there is an element of class about Ben Camporelli that does excite me when he is around the ball. And to finish with Box Hill, just if you look at their AFL listed players, Ned Reeve wasn't spectacular, but he did what I'd expect from a ruckman. He was okay. Noah Mraz, though, I do want to give some props to. 6 marks, 4 of them intercepts. He looked really strong. I thought he did really well playing up there. And Will McCabe had a bit of a nightmare at times, but I'd really like Noah Mraz. I thought his body work is good. It's just about learning them abilities. I'd like to see him trust his weapons a bit more. I felt at times he could have trusted them. Luke Bruce was sensational, as you expect. 3 goals from his 13 touches and a constant threat working up the ground to push Carlton's defence higher up the ground. Max Ramsden and Jasper Scaife, they had their moments as well. They were really entertaining and solid. Matty Hill, big fan of his. He's really lively. Didn't have a lot of the ball, but he's that excitement machine. Cody Anderson, he showed how raw he is. But there is some nice elements there. Jai Sarong, he keeps going. He's a real little menace there. But I am a huge fan of Henry Hustwaite. Henry Hustwaite was another level in this game. He was really, really strong. definitely putting his hands out. I can see maybe like a little bit of a Connor Nash role coming in for him, a younger version, someone who's there. Whether he wants to sacrifice his game is another thing, but he's really plays tight and he can get you moving forward as well. He really likes living on the on-baller and being a complete nuisance. He really did give Archie Stevens some annoyance at times, particularly when Archie Stevens was trying to get the game going around stoppage. He was just always there, and he really racked up the clearances. And Trent Bianco, obviously former AFL Collingwood player, you can see why they're really clever, Box Hill, because they've got just AFL-level players playing in their VFL state system. And that was the difference in this game. Like when Carlton's most experienced AFL player that's not on an AFL list is Will Hayes, there's his Trent Bianco, paints the picture. So there you have it, an instant VFL good opening kickoff. Dogs Hill take the points. They'll be really, really good this year. They've just got so much depth in that team, and it's a real well-rounded side. Hope you enjoyed it. I hope both you Hawthorn fans and Carlton fans got something out of this video. I had so much fun making it, and it's really good watching. We might try and do a VFL watch-along if that's of interest in between this year, so we can maybe have a look at doing that. It would be grouse. Let me know what you think. See you next time. Pom out.